All right, I got to talk a little bit about interest rates because I'm seeing all this really inordinate and really irrational fear about interest rates. People talking about you got to get ready to protect yourself in the stock market, move to cash, all this stuff. I mean, it's just, I really have to talk about this. Now, first of all, let me just put aside one thing. If the Fed goes 25 basis points and moves the funds rate up to 75 basis points, that's still so historically low. But that's not even the point. I don't even want to talk about that. It doesn't matter the level. Okay? First of all, let me just say this. This is the first most important thing. A rate hike is a fiscal expansion, period. Now, I think most of you understand that fiscal expansions are good for the economy, okay? But they might add to inflation a little bit. But, we need a fiscal expansion. The economy's only growing at 1.1%. So a rate hike, at the very basic definition, is a fiscal expansion, okay? Understand this. The government is a net payer of interest. When the Fed raises interest, it necessarily causes the government to spend more money. It is a fiscal expansion. Point number one, main point. Point number two, in any economy, you have creditors, you have debtors, right? So when rates are changed, it affects one side or the other, right? Double entry accounting. Somebody gets negatively affected, somebody gets positively affected. But the overall amount of income that goes into the economy goes up by virtue of point number one that I said, that it is a fiscal expansion. So when you raise interest rates, the debtors, they get hurt because the cost of servicing that debt goes up. So they're left with less disposable income. However, the creditors, their income goes up, but the net amount of income in the economy goes up. The government spends more and puts more money in the economy. Okay? It's not like you raise interest rates and money is sucked out and goes out into outer space somewhere. I see people, very well-known people, saying, oh, you got to protect yourself. They don't know what's happening, okay? Now, the non-government, the private sector, the non-government of the United States, here and rest of the world, is a net creditor. How do I know? Because every 2 seconds you hear somebody say that the government has 19 trillion of debt. Well, who's holding that debt? It's not really a debt, I explained it, but who's holding all those treasuries and all that debt is the non-government, all here and rest of the world. So they're a net creditor. When you add to their income, that is not a bad thing. Okay, that is not a bad thing. If you are confused and you do not understand, let me go over it again, that an increase in interest rates is a fiscal expansion. By the way, did you know, and you should know if you follow my videos because I said this a bunch of times, that the largest single line item of government expenditure during the Reagan boom years was interest. Okay, it wasn't the military or anything like that. It was interest, was the largest single line item of government expense. And the economy, like I said, it boomed, right? With people still talking about the Reagan boom. Okay, so again, a rate hike is a fiscal expansion by definition. There's no arguing about that. You cannot. If you argue about that, you gotta rethink it. You don't understand what you're talking about. The money does not fly out into outer space. It does not get sucked out anywhere. It adds to the net income of the non-government, but it shuffles it around a little bit. So interest-sensitive things might get hurt, but other things might improve. Now, is it, the most efficient kind of fiscal expansion? No. Would it be my choice if I was running things, if I was the kind, benevolent dictator? No, I would not. I would rebuild the infrastructure. I would spend money on basic science and research. I would take care of people's health care. I would, build schools and pay for and invest in education and maybe, alternative energy and all these kind of things that really create the real capital for now and future generations. I mean, we're still living on the roads. You know, we're rolling on the roads that Eisenhower built. Imagine if there was still dirt roads or little back roads, little country roads. Where do you get the money for that? Just wrote a check. Everything you have, if you live here in the United States, everything you have came to you on one of those roads in a truck, right? So it comes back many times over. We need to build stuff like that. We need to make stuff like that. That's what I would do. But listen, it's better than nothing. A fiscal expansion is still a fiscal expansion. So when people say, look, I tell you something. I already put myself out there. I said to all of you that I'm just laying it on the line. And you could call me out. I said when the rates go up, stocks are going to rally. Gold's going to rally. Dollar's going to go down. Like every single thing that the so-called experts and very serious people predicted, I'm telling you, it's all the opposite. Mike Norman is going to be right. And if I'm not right, all of you mousy boys out there, you have every right to come on here and write the most vile comments that you could think of. But you're not going to be able to because I'm going to be right. I'm the only one who put myself out there like this. The only one. All the so-called very smart people, they're all telling you to protect yourself and go in cash and get ready. And the Fed's dumb. If the Fed is dumb, it's not because they're going to raise rates. They're dumb because they didn't raise rates and because they've been sticking, like all these other central bankers, with these deflationary policies of income stripping, asset stripping. Well, how does that help anything? It doesn't. Let's take away the highest quality asset in the world. Let's take away income. That's going to really... Look, if low rates were really what everybody thinks they are, we should be growing at 10%, not 1%. Been 0% for so long. So I'm the only guy who put myself out there saying this. The only one. And you know that I've been right on everything. And then they all come around. Like only now do we see some of these very smart people saying, hey, Brexit wasn't bad. Brexit wasn't bad. I said that before it happened. I said that when the vote went down. I told you to buy the stock market when that happened. Come on, people. You're not going to get better than this. You're just not. So I put myself out there. I just explained it all to you. If you got a problem with it, then you either have a mental block or you're ideologically opposed to accepting the truth, and then that's your problem. I don't give a shit. That is your problem, all right? See ya.